first question is, has that helped since 2016 to figure out snapper specifically? And then second question is, what's the difference between tails and scales and why we're doing this offshore landing permit?
Yeah, that's a great one. So absolutely, tails and scales has been a benefit, right? It's allowed us to get a real-time view of our fishery, really understand what's going on, and maximize the fishing days that have been, available to the recreational fish. The comparisons between that and MRIP really laid the foundation for our understanding of
how off they were,
where the flaws are, right? I mean, you can call it off.
I'm sorry,
call it wrong, whatever you want to call it, right?
Discrepancy.
It's an absolutely statistically rigorous program reviewed by folks at the highest levels of academia and everything else like that, but it wasn't producing what we thought were logical results. And I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, lost my train of thought. So yes, it's been absolutely beneficial in that regard. Now it covers red snapper specifically, right? And so you want to be able to get somewhere. It's one species of fish.
Okay.
And there's plenty of other ones out there that have been under a fair amount of controversy. I mean, think about amberjack season coming up.
Lemonfish, triggerfish.
Cobia. I mean, all of them have been under their fair amount of issues and management scrutiny and everything else. And so what we're trying to do is move forward in a way that allows us to be able to cover all those species across the board. Now, the relationship between tails and scales and this current ROLP and everything else, really what we're looking at is the pathway to the future when it comes to how Mississippi collects fishery-dependent data as a whole. That could mean that if this is successful, when it comes down, because we're doing the effort portion right now, when we go to full implementation, which we're trying to really get forward and move forward next year with full implementation, if it proves to be comparable, successful, and good, it could mean that tails and scales doesn't exist in the future.
Correct. Right? It takes its place.
You take the burden away from all the fishermen having to report every single trip, and if this one does the job, you move to that as your base completely. And then you've got regional consistency across the board with each one of the states that are conducting the same kind of survey.
With every species,
and
not just red snapper.
It puts everybody on, basically, it gets us, Louisiana, and Alabama, should they move forward with it, all in the same units. Everything is being collected the same way. It gets us a better understanding as a whole and allows us as a region to manage better, and also allow us as a state to have better estimates to be able to make our decisions that we need to on inshore species and the things we specifically